If you've been around the channel a little bit, you know that I love talking about rare items, secret or hidden things within the game, and honestly, some of my favorite content to make is this kind of stuff where we take deep dives back into a certain time frame, whether it be 1 year or multiple, and take a look at some of the rarest things you can have in game. Today we're going to be doing a continuation of that and examining 28 of the rarest weapon blueprints you can have within Black Ops Cold War. Now, I will say that if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you'll want to stick around because next month we will have another huge project like this, but for this video today, we're going to be focusing solely on the past year and some of the rarest items you can have in your inventory. That said, as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Genuinely want to hear, how many of these weapon blueprints do you have? Is there anything also you'd like to throw in the list here for the rarest blueprints you think deserve to be up there? Whatever the case may be, let me know down below. As well, if you enjoy the video, you like some of these deep dives we do here, taking a look at the rarest items you can have in game, drop a like down below. Let's aim for 1,000 likes here on this video. And of course, if you are new to the channel and want to stay up to date with all things rare items, Cold War, Warzone, Vanguard, we got you covered with anything you'll need to know. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new. We'd love to have you in the community. But said, let's jump right into it because there's a lot to discuss. So what I will say about a lot of these, there's no clearly defined list of 28 down to #1 rarest blueprint, but instead it's a bulk group of rare to ultra rare blueprints. Some of these will be rarer than others simply based off of time you have in game, platform you may be on, or how far back you really went and cared about the game and the cosmetics. So for that, instead of ranking them definitively, we're going to be detailing them in sort of categorical manners. We'll be touching base on things like pre-launch blueprints, participation blueprints, i.e. things like how involved with the game you got. We touch on some tournament rewards, event rewards and the likes, exclusive and Easter egg rewards, and then things like limited time rewards and blueprints that in a lot of cases, they're just gone for good. So that said, let's start out with those pre-launch blueprints, things that you can get from, say, beta participation and then other ordering bonuses. Starting off, I want to touch on the Mutual Animosity blueprint, which is for the Milano that comes along with the sound suppressor, axial arms 3x optic, duster stock, and 5mW laser sight. And truth be told, the blueprint itself I think looks pretty good, but this was granted to players that took part in the beta of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So just like how we mentioned that you might not have gone back that far to care about the game or to care about cosmetics, but if you took part in that beta all the way back almost a year ago at this point, it might be something you have in your inventory. Then talking about some pre-launch things here, we ended up of course having some rarer items based off of the Confrontations pack and the Land, Sea, and Air pack. Now the Confrontations pack, this was available only for digital pre-orders. That came along with the Iron Curtain AK47 and the Western Front M16. Both of these I thought looked pretty cool, and going into the launch of the game, seeing this, the Mutual Animosity, and then some of the things like the Land, Sea, and Air pack, it gave a decent idea for some of the cosmetics we'd end up seeing throughout the year. That Land, Sea, and Air pack though was more rare because it was only a part of the Ultimate Edition, those that ended up paying that extra couple of bucks to end up getting that full overall bundle for Black Ops Cold War. That came along with the Black Tide XM4, Sucker Punch Howler, and the Wingman 1911. All three of those having some interesting designs here to them. My personal favorite of the three was the Wingman 1911, a little bit more vibrant in color, a little bit more life to it felt like, but those last 5 here with those, rare just because you can't quite get them now, and again, were only for those that really cared to go the extra mile per se. So those are a little bit of our warm-up here for the rest of these. But if you want to get into things that are a little bit more rare than that, we can take a look at even in-game right now. Let's talk next about some of these participation blueprints, some of the things like starting out with the gunfight tournament blueprint rewards. Now, currently, as of recording this here, we of course have 10 different blueprints available from gunfight tournaments throughout the entire year, with 2 more still classified. Those, while we don't know about them, they'll be in the more rare category automatically because when you take a look at them, I'd probably only say the last 3 or so here are worth making this list, because that means that you've taken part in and won at least 7 gunfight tournaments up until that point. So your weapon blueprints like the Irradiator Tundra blueprint, the West Bank Wrecker Gallo blueprint, and the Low Threat Groza, that means that you've gone through 10 different gunfight tournaments, you've stuck through all of that, grinded them out, and you came out victorious in all of it. Because unlike Modern Warfare's gunfight tournament system, it doesn't reward you the blueprint given specifically for that tournament. Instead, it kind of is cumulative, meaning that if you haven't won, say, the first one like I haven't, I could go back whenever, even in the next present day gunfight tournament, and still take part in, win that, and get the first blueprint available. So in a sense, yes, you could grind out gunfight tournaments all weekend, so you can end up getting all of those retroactively, but you'd have to do it, in this case, 10 times. But if you've stuck with it and you've done that 10 times over the year, you're not like many other players in the community. You've gone above and beyond, and so therefore these last ones are a bit harder to obtain than the earlier ones. Let's talk about some other participation awards, things that right now you can't get them if you don't have them. These being event-specific rewards. Throughout the past year of Black Ops Cold War and Warzone, we've seen a handful of different events. Things like the Rebirth event, the Outbreak event, the Hunt for Adler event, the 80s Action Heroes event, the Groundfall event, and most recently, the Numbers event. Some of those offered exclusive blueprint rewards where if you completed X amount of challenges, you ended up getting a completion reward of a specific and exclusive blueprint. Starting out with number 1 here out of these event rewards, we have going all the way back to the Rebirth event, the Hazardous Krig 6. Honestly, still to this day, one of my favorite blueprints. Bummed I never completed that one, but it looks phenomenal, I think. And especially with this having been something meta in Warzone for so long recently, I would have loved to have been able to sport this one off. But you had to complete all of the Warzone specific challenges for the Rebirth event here, and actually along the way you could have gotten one that I'd say is maybe a runner-up here to this rare blueprint list, that being the Noxious RPD blueprint, that coming along as a reward for a specific challenge that you didn't have to complete all of the challenges, you just had to complete one specific with it, in which you had to place in the top 30% of Rebirth Island matches 30 times, which is relatively simple to do. Fast forwarding a little bit here, we had the Outbreak event in Season 2, and there were both rewards for Warzone and Cold War as well, both offering up a reward for completing the subsequent challenges in either Warzone or in Black Ops Cold War, but both presented available within Cold War weaponry of the Gray Matter Tundra blueprint and the Teal Drop 1911 blueprint as well. Completing these challenges specific to each of those modes, again, gave you those ones as a completionist reward, but also you may have had the opportunity to get these a little later on down the line, because Blueprint Blitz, as of recently within Warzone, offered up some of the ability to do contraband contracts, and both of those were in the mix of weapons available. Moving on a little further into the 80s Action Heroes event, the Hunt for Adler event at the start of Season 3 didn't offer up any weapon blueprints, but the 80s Action Heroes event did. Completing those specific challenges gave you the Ignition Pellington blueprints and the Flamebearer DMR blueprint. Both pretty cool looking blueprints, but both weapons that outside of Season 1 don't quite have a place in the meta, so I wasn't quite using them all that much. The final weapon that we've had as a blueprint in recent times is that of the Private Party Magnum blueprint, the reward for completing all of the Groundfall Season 4 event challenges, and this one on a limited time as well. Since then, we haven't seen any other event blueprint rewards just yet. We didn't have anything for the mid-season event of Season 4, and also the Numbers event didn't start with the start of Season 5 and just having it a couple of days ago introduced. We only ended up getting the base weapon of the Psy as an unlock for completing either the Black Ops Cold War challenges or the Warzone challenges. But moving along a little further, let's talk about some exclusive rewards, some things that you gotta do specifically and that may be your goal out of doing some of these things. Let's start out with an Easter egg reward. For this, I want to talk about the Red Room Milano blueprint, and unfortunately this is the only blueprint like this, and I mean that in the sense that it's tethered to an Easter egg within Warzone. This coming along with the Rebirth Island update here, the Easter egg on said new map when it was new. You ended up having to unlock one of the bunkers within the headquarters buildings, and once you did, you ended up being able to unlock the Red Room Milano blueprint. This one was still one of my favorites here with this. I wish that we ended up seeing more Easter eggs within Warzone to give rewards like this. That's one of my most favorite pastimes in Warzone, is trying to decipher these puzzles. It's a chaos that is somewhat calming to me, if that makes any sense, but it's also something that gives a cool little sense of satisfaction once you complete it, where you do something that not many others will do. So if you took part in that Easter egg, you were able to get that Red Room Milano blueprint. Next, I want to talk about something that I personally haven't done, and maybe you haven't, or maybe you have. These being League Play specific blueprints, exclusive to League Play and the challenges associated with them. Now, if you take a look at League Play, you're able to see that you can get rewards for wins, placement, as well as skill divisions. But if you go to the wins section, that's where you're probably going to be most focused with some of the cooler rewards, in my opinion, where you get things at the base like stickers, charms, and emblems, but also you can get exclusive blueprints, to which once you win 20 matches in League Play, you can end up getting the Diamati blueprint. At 50 League Play matches won, you can end up getting the Krig 6 blueprint for the CDL, and then at 100 wins, you can end up getting the AK-74U exclusive CDL blueprint. These, honestly, I think look really cool. I just haven't had the time or interest to grind out League Play to end up getting 100 wins like that. That is a lot of time put into the game, man, and I respect anybody that goes in, does that grind. And chances are, if you've done this, you are in the very very, very small percentage of players that have. So you got something that's incredibly rare. But let's just keep moving on here with these rare blueprints and talk about some things that, on top of some exclusivity, were also limited time rewards that in a lot of cases you can't get these anymore. One of the ones like that is the CDL Champs 2021 XM4 blueprint. This might be something that you think is familiar here with this, because there also was a CDL Champs weapon pack that came along with a Tundra and an AK47 blueprint, but the XM4 is a pretty high profile exclusive by comparison. This was only unlocked via account link while watching Champ Sunday, the championship match for the CDL, and the entire year for a total of 45 minutes. It was only available for that one day, that few hour time span that the grand finals was going on, and you had to have your YouTube account linked to your Activision and Call of Duty account for it to credit it. So while it was kind of a highly advertised event, you may or may not have this depending on your interest in checking out the competitive scene, but it is something that was incredibly limited time and incredibly exclusive. Next, talking about a little bit more exclusive stuff, we're gonna jump over to something that unfortunately is PlayStation exclusive. So right off the bat, it eliminates the ability for 2/3 of the platforms to end up having the ability to even unlock these. Starting out, we'll jump into the Soviet Red AK47. This was a blueprint introduced with Season 5 of Cold War and is exclusive, as with the next couple, to Onslaught. This is unlocked, though, by completing 30 surges in the new Onslaught Diminishing Light LTM. So this blueprint is only available on PlayStation via Onslaught, and also is a lesser played mode that won't be around forever. So very limited in its run, and if you end up getting this one, you are in rare company with this. Next one I want to talk about is another Onslaught reward, but is one that if you don't have it now, you can't get it again. That being the Bronzewood Tundra blueprint. This was available as a holiday reward for Onslaught, again, PlayStation exclusive as detailed, but also limited time to the holiday season of 2020. So this you ended up being able to unlock by killing 25 zombies in Onslaught with snowballs. So if you were able to do that again on PlayStation and be able to complete that challenge, then you got this incredibly exclusive blueprint for the Tundra. Now, of course, you do still have your Onslaught Chalice rewards of the Crowstorm Type 63, Hellhawk QBZ, and the Primal Hunter Diamantes. Those have been there since launch, but again, are a little bit more exclusive and maybe rarer as such, because it is only available on PlayStation still up until sometime in the next month and a half or so. I think that exclusivity window ends, to which PC and Xbox users can, of course, get this at that point. Now, the final things we'll round out on are limited time rewards, but are available via free bundles for certain periods during the year. So as we just mentioned, we talked about a holiday event, and we actually got a cool M82 blueprint, the Frozen Chosen, out of a free holiday bundle that was only available again for the duration of, I want to say, like December of 2020, this past year. And if you didn't pick it up at that point, you unfortunately don't have the ability to anymore, to my knowledge. Same thing goes for the Military Green M16 blueprint. This was available via the Rebirth Island free bundle and was only available during that event duration. So that 14 or 15 days or so that we had to complete that Rebirth Island challenge set, you could redeem a free bundle and get that Military Green blueprint. The final blueprint we'll talk about here and rounds out this list of 28 rare blueprints is the Renegade Ranger M16 as well. Once again, another free bundle, but this time exclusive to the Outbreak event duration. Again, those 2 to 3 weeks here that you had available to redeem that give you, once again, another more exclusive blueprint in terms of timing. That said, that's what we're going to call it here at this. That is 28 of the rarest blueprints in all of Black Ops Cold War this past 11 months or so here, almost coming up since when the game launched to where we are now. Those are some of the rarest items you can have in your inventory. Of course, that does then transfer over to Warzone, and as we mentioned, you might want to stay tuned here because next month sometime we're going to have a much larger, ultra rare detailing of all of these kind of blueprints. So if you're interested in seeing more, of course, stick it here on the channel, but let me know your thoughts down below. Do you guys have any of these blueprints? Do you like any ones in particular? Is there any that you think we missed here on this list of the rarest blueprints? Feel free to drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops Cold War, Warzone, Vanguard, anything COD related. We got you covered here on the channel. So if you're interested in any of that, hit that subscribe button. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to chat with me outside of YouTube. I practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike a conversation, ask me a question, whatever the case may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.